ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Banya. I'm your host, Luke Manuel. Absent today is Dana Lundquist, co-host. We'll be giving him a tardy. Not a tardy, excuse me, an absence.
An absence.
So we'll dock his pay for sleeping
absence.
on the job. Today's guest is my brother from Northern California. Land of serial killers, and today is no exception. We got a killer in the house, Joey Wilson. Grew up wrestling with him my whole life. When did we start bumping into each other?
Would have been whenever I started getting into freestyle, which would have been my freshman year, probably freshman or sophomore year.
Yeah.
Around then, when I started going to Fargo and junior duels, stuff like that.
Well, let me back up. Welcome, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on the Banya. So Joey and I wrestled our whole lives together up in Northern California. He went on to wrestle at UC Davis, correct? And
UC Davis first.
Program got shut down sophomore year.
It was my third year, so I had a redshirt year. I started for 2 years, and then they dropped it. I made the decision to transfer. Other people stayed and had other plans, but I transferred to University of Nebraska Kearney. They were a D2. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's a good team for sure. So. Growing up in Northern California, you're from Half Moon Bay. You guys, was that Bawa? Did you do those?
Yeah, that was Bawa.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a great team.
That was a dope name.
Well, okay, let me back up. It was technically Bawa, but Bawa, like when we did the.
Well, here, let's tell people what we're talking about.
What the hell are we talking about?
California is a killer state for wrestling in high school. Yep. It drops off, in my opinion, in college. Like, a lot of those schools don't
cut so many teams.
Yeah, they've cut so many teams, and they just don't allocate resources to make them, nationally viable. There's a couple killers that's seep through, but and good on them, dude. For anybody that's like super successful in a California university or state college, like, dude,
Derek Moore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a bunch of little standouts. But anyways, California is unique. It's a bunch of states separate their state. They have like divisions, right? Yeah. California is one division, so if you're a state champion in California, you're the king of California. There's not like 5 state champions, right? So, and California does a super cool thing where they separate they call them areas. So you basically, it's a bunch of counties come together and form a team, a special team. It's like you have to win your area, but you have to wrestle off and like you have to be the number one dude in your area, basically.
And now we're talking about the off season, though. Right? So freestyle and Greco. You have I guess there are associations where it's certain counties.
Yeah, it's areas. Yeah. Sacramento area. I was on Sawa, so and so each of these areas comes together in a state tournament and they duel each other. So it's like your squad lines up against the other area, and it's a super awesome concept, and that was so much fun, dude. That was some of the funnest wrestling I did.
That might have been the funnest travel team. But what I was going to say is technically I was part of Bawa, but Bawa didn't really. I don't even know if they actually went to those duels. They were just so small.
I mean, you guys suck for sure. I mean, you guys had you're part of...
So I actually went to those duels with Skavwa, which is like SCVWA, which is Santa Clara Valley.
Okay.
So that's really where like the core of the CCS guys would wrestle with. So that was actually who I went to duels with.
Right. Yeah, it was like you and then like all the CYC guys. Like we're the only people like that. The Bay Area is pretty weak for wrestling. It's like the weakest part of California.
Fremont, I mean, there's a few schools in CCS like Fremont and in Gilroy. So you had like the Novachkovs, you had Andre Gonzalez, R.I.P.
The Triguez's.
The
they were fucking good.
There's a lot of studs between East Bay and like South Bay together.
Right. But still as an area though.
Yeah, as a general, especially my like the PAL league. I was worse in the state probably. Yeah. One of them.
Dude, we had a dope team. We won it, I think, every year that I was on it. Sawa won. Huh. And I did freestyle and Greco, and yeah, dude, we had the toughest team to beat was the SoCal one. I don't know, I forget what they called themselves. It might have been
Skawa.
No, like you're talking like LA. You wouldn't have been on that.
No. There's but
they probably grouped together with all those Hicks and like Gilroy and stuff, right?
Yeah. Gilroy and San Jose.
No,
Turlock. That's more San Jose.
That was part of Sawa actually. They had to come up. So, but yeah, super rad. So what do you think about? One thing I wanted to ask you about was I recently learned that there's a theory about fossil fuels. Like I was taught basically like the blanket, like my understanding, what I was taught about fossil fuels is that they're literally like decomposed dinosaurs that are like being smelted into oil, and like the closer to the center of the earth. And it's a finite resource, right?
Yeah.
So literally like Sinclair, the dinosaur that's in the name, fossil fuels, right? Were you taught that?
That was taught that. I've heard some other things since then, but that was like what my understanding as a kid. You're like, dinosaurs.
Right. Yeah. It's like fucking melted dinosaurs. And like, that's kind of a stupid theory if you ask me. Like, how many fucking dinosaurs?
How many are there?
Like, anyways, so like the theory, and it kind of makes more sense to me in my head at least. I'm not a scientist. I don't know shit about shit, but the Earth constantly regenerates oil is the theory. So it's not a finite resource. It's it's going to continue to produce this, right? So it's like the diamond thing where these companies pretend like they're super rare, but in fact they're super abundant, you know? So it's like the choking point, like that fuel companies, are playing is like, pretending like it's a super rare thing when truthfully it might just be flowing and constant. It might just be.
It's either a misunderstanding or some kind of capitalistic play.
I'm sure there's people that pretend to know what happens in the center of our Earth, but like, who the fuck? Like, go drill your ass down there and tell me what's going on. You know what I mean? Like,
who knows?
Everyone's kind of like speculating, right? Like, nobody's been there.
Somebody said there's like ice in the middle, like which doesn't make sense. But it could be.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like, because volcanoes.
Yeah, well, that's not coming from the middle.
Yeah, I guess, but then where's like if it's ice cold in the center, and then there's these pimples of magma on the surface, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm not a geologist, but
no. Well, is that's your favorite conspiracy though?
Well, let me pick up on this. Is again not a scientist and not a political stand by any means, but. I read a book a while back, and it's years ago, so I can't remember the details. And it wasn't necessarily proposing like the oil regenerates itself, and maybe that's even more accurate. But the kind of theory behind what this guy was saying was there was a time, however many hundreds or thousands of years ago, where we had way more CO2 in the atmosphere. And during that time, trees were freaking massive. Right. Animals were massive. Everything was like Texas, right? It was just bigger. Everything was just bigger.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why is it bigger? Because it just has better resources to live and grow.
Well, yeah, plants eat carbon. So yeah, like
the idea was like, well, okay, if what we're saying is fossil fuels is all of the vegetation, all the trees and everything, and all the animals that lived during that time, and now that's like trapped, buried. Like there's all that carbon in there that. We're like, oh, it's bad. We're saying it's bad to release in the atmosphere, and it's like, well, maybe that actually would be good. Maybe we'd have much more vegetation and bigger trees and all this stuff, and because carbon is like the building block, like that. You can't have life without carbon,
right?
Right. So that's a little conspiracy theory.
So the same way that it like, feeds all that vegetation, I wonder if it made animals bigger too. Well, I guess they would have to be, right? If like imagine like all the vegetation is ginormous and huge. Yeah. And like you're a plant eater, you have to be big to eat that,
sloths, right? Like super,
or there's opportunity in evolution, right? To like eat these big massive trees or whatever. And then guess what? To be a successful predator, to hunt a giant, Brachiosaurus, long neck, you got to be fucking huge, right?
Yeah.
So
everything's gonna match up.
Damn, yeah. Yeah, I think we just figured it out.
We solved it, dude.
We just saved the Earth.
Yeah.
You're welcome, planet Earth. So you are moving back.
Yep.
To California.
Yeah.
The OC.
The OC, but basically Costa Mesa, right on the border of Newport Beach. Mm-hmm. So a beautiful area.
Yeah.
And I actually lived there before, so I'm moving back to about a block away from where I lived for a few years. Back when I was working at Wrestling Mart.
Yeah.
Which was a trip, but so yeah, it's gonna be a good move.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for California to have you. The correct. Well, you're a conservative man, so
Sir.
Keep
the right county.
Turning that. You're in the right county for sure for that. But a unique pocket in Southern California, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, it's kind of nestled there between LA and San Diego, and
just surrounded by blue heads.
All these business people. Yeah, it's a good area.
Yeah, but so people are leaving California, but they're in droves, but they're getting one good one. You're moving in 2 weeks?
Literally this Saturday.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah coming up quick.
Right. Yeah, well, that'll be fun.
Yeah. So basically what's driving that move, so I work in tech sales, work for this big cybersecurity company. Mm-hmm. And so more good news, I got a promotion, which is causing me to move there. I have to be in the area in person, which is pretty rad. But
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not fishing for compliments there, but
can I borrow $50?
Sure. What's cool about this move is it kind of represents some pretty like meaningful, I don't know, goals is maybe the wrong word, but like just visions for where I wanted to be like 9 years ago, 5 years ago. And I don't know, like people talk about like law of attraction and all this stuff. And I think that gets totally misconstrued to where you got these woo people being like, just manifest it. And it's like, yeah, but you're not doing any work. Mm. It's not like it's going to fall out of the fucking sky.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like, so when I left Orange County the first time back in 2016, it wasn't necessarily by choice. It was like, I was working at Wrestling Mart, which is cool. I was involved with the wrestling community, very fun. I got to go to the beach a lot. But I wasn't making money. I didn't have a career, right? I didn't have my feet under me to where it's like, hey, if I really wanted to start a life right now, I couldn't. I was like playing Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I got to get my shit together. But like, I'll be back. And in my head at the time, I was like, I'll be back in 2 years. I'll figure this out. And I kind of went on my journey, my hero's journey, and kind of worked my way into like the tech sales scene in the Bay Area. When COVID hit, I ended up moving out here to Scottsdale for multiple reasons. One, it's a little more open.
Right.
Bay Area was like, it was ridiculous. Company I worked for then, they moved out here.
Bin, dude, huh?
More for, oh my God. It was like, you have people driving in their cars with double masks.
Right. Just a couple weeks ago, I passed this guy. He was going 60 in the fast lane. And I'm like, what's this guy? And he had his blinker on. we're on the freeway. He wasn't turning anywhere. He's just cruising. So I pass him. Yep. Mask guy. He's in a Prius by himself with a mask on going 60 in a fast lane. Dude,
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Too many boosts, right?
You have people, you go hiking, people are like doing this thing where they cover their mouth and they like turn into a bush,
right?
Probably full of poison oak, which is going to be much more harmful than us sharing some air.
Yep. Were you telling me you got like chewed out when you were on a hike or something? Dude. Was that you?
Yeah.
Your dog?
So it was me. My dog was there.
Yeah.
My brother, my 2 nephews. Walking on this trail.
Here in Arizona or California?
No, this is in California.
Yeah.
And it's like eucalyptus trees everywhere. Right. Beautiful wide open trail. And we're walking in. There's like this very overweight lady sitting in like a little picnic chair, like beach chair on the ground. I think she was like painting or something or doing a drawing of a who knows, man.
Yeah.
But she's sitting there with her mask on, and we walk by. She's like, "Excuse me, gentlemen." She's like, "Didn't you see the sign? Where are your masks?" And she's like,
"You say, catch me."
It's like, what? Yeah, should have. Yeah, I was like, "Okay, thank you." Just kept walking. We was like, "What the hell? Like, get out of my business!" Like, lose some weight.
Right.
You stupid
fat ugly lady.
So that was wild. I said, I got to get out of here. And
right.
I really loved the Scottsdale journey.
Yeah.
But and I'll dive into that a little bit. But I'll put a bow on the thread I was on about kind of like my vision where I was like, I'll be back here. And the other little thing I had was, there's this milestone in like tech sales of like getting to an enterprise role, right? Which basically means there's SMB, that's small business. You have, maybe a few hundred employee companies you're selling to. You have mid-market, which is like maybe a little bit larger, a couple thousand, and then you have enterprise, which is, all the big companies. So moving back, it's like I'm hitting that thing, which I've probably been like 5-6 years like aiming towards, and then eventually wanting to end up back in Orange County, which was like my goal 9 years ago. It's like,
and it just happened.
With like the whole law of attraction thing, it's not like, again, it doesn't fall out of the sky, and it usually takes way longer than you think. It's going to look way different. Like there's going to be obstacles. Like I was laid off for a while. You can go on twists and turns, meet different people, but it's like, if you kind of have that vision in the back of your mind, and you point there little by little, like you end up where you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So kind of a cool journey. Scottsdale's been awesome.
Yeah. I love thinking about mortality in like, even in like the career path where it's like we're dead and pretty soon nobody cares. Like it's that's been like kind of helping me in decisions in life lately. It's fun to think about that. Like none of this stuff, like it's great while it's here, but it's soon to be not,
Yeah, my cousin had a good expression. I forget where she got it from, but it's basically like, we're all just doing this for the first time.
Right.
As much as like, which is like, oh, damn, that's like pretty deep, dude. Like, because it's true. Like, people act like they have it figured out, and there's people that have done very good things and pass it on, but like, there's literally no right or wrong. You're just making this shit up. We're watercoloring our way through this shit.
Yeah, like if you think about it, like the oldest person on planet Earth is, maybe 100, right? Or over. But it's like, and all this history has happened, but like we didn't experience that. Yeah. Right? Like we can learn from it, but like we didn't go through it. It's like, we are all just babies on this planet, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing we keep it together. But yeah, speaking of like people that, pretend to help and are on my sketch radar, right? Bill Gates, dude, just buying up farmlands, investing in all these vaccines companies, like the money plays he made on them, like dumped them too. Like as soon as they weren't like a joke, right?
Yeah.
He just made all those moves and made a ton of money on that. Like, why is that guy still doing these things? Right?
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. That guy scares me. It's just like, he has a bunch of money. I don't know who's like influenced him.
Dude, why can't you just go live your life and like enjoy it? Why are you like meddling and like trying to be like Dr. Evil, Like what is I can't, like, if you had that much money, I can't imagine being like, I'm gonna like fuck with all of humanity now, you know? And
yeah, it's either like some evil thing, or it's a.
He might be the ultimate Revenge of the Nerds, actually. Like, he just, like, life sucked so bad for him for so long, and now it's, like, his turn to laser the planet, you know?
That might be, I think you figured it out.
Yeah, his motivations.
Yeah.
We got motive. We've got means. What else do the guy need?
Yeah, man. But, yeah, the whole, like, they're talking about rationing meat and getting everyone on lab
Who was talking about that?
I mean,
was Bill Gates involved in that? Like, all right, let's
stop. I mean, highly influencing it, because it's like,
grow this shit.
It's like, oh yeah, it's good for the planet. Also, it makes me billions of dollars if I sell you Beyond Meat.
Well, here's the freakiest part about all that too. Like, imagine they did away with all animal agriculture, right? And 100% of our meat was produced in a factory. Now we're like generationally, like, we're gonna forget how to farm and raise. I mean, it's not rocket science, but
a serious supply chain issue.
Yeah, well, like it would be like an industry that's completely phased out, and like we're all dependent now on Bill Gates to feed us, to send us our processed meats.
Well, we saw that.
Or imagine if they made it illegal. Like, it's illegal to raise animals and slaughter them, right? And then it's like, now you have to buy all of your protein. You know, just complete control of humanity. Control.
Yeah, well, I'm happy we have the administration we do
right
now.
Yep.
But like, beyond that, I mean, because we've seen, like...
Is it just me, or does it seem like they're already getting shit done? Like, they're just like... Yeah. Swinging axes.
Seems like it. All the stuff Elon's exposing. And,
it's cool to see that, because like for so many decades it was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then they just like barely get anything done, right? Like it all like kind of stays the same for the most part.
Yeah, it's just it's like switching parties, but it's like the same. It's the same people in there upholding the. There's just so much corruption where it's like someone's getting billions of dollars for a program that doesn't exist.
Right. How many people do you think Hillary Clinton's murdered?
I don't know.
Is it over 10?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's like a list of people that they think that they've killed.
Really?
Yep. It's like Wikipedia, you know, it's like, I mean, it's within the conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah.
But, no, those people have murked folks.
That's a wild business, man.
That like also, so like Joe Biden, Hillary, and like Bill, like they're still like, he looks like the crypt keeper, and like these women are just like, what is driving them to want to do that at their age, you know? I
don't get it.
It's insane.
I guess maybe it's just what keeps them alive. You got to feel like you have purpose when you're old. So
I think it's like a insanity that like actors have, right? Where they're like chasing something so hard, like it's their thing, right? Like,
yeah, it's like who am I now? It's like, dude, after you're president, you can't really go up from there. It's like who the fuck am I now? I better maintain this celebrity somehow and create some fake nonprofits and
get paid like Obama. Just get paid $500 million to speak for a bank or whatever, you know.
Yeah, that's wild.
That kind of shit. Yeah, and like why they even bother doing that stuff, it amazes me too. Like, what? Like you're taking care of my guy. Like, you were the president. Like, you know. Why do you keep accumulating this weird, especially because it's like kind of shady, you know? And like, obviously, like if they take that money, they're involved in something like influencing, you know, politics in a way. So like, what is that? Why are you continuing to do that? You know, after finishing your presidency, it's insane.
Yeah, it's just relevance, I guess.
Yeah,
gotta stay relevant.
Wild. What else, dude? You got anything?
Yeah, well, what the hell was I going to say?
This was some water on those rocks. I'm feeling good today, folks. Haven't even taken a water break. Yeah, you did it, dude.
That was a lot.
My nose is burning. My throat is burning. My face.
Yeah, so regenerative agriculture. You learned about this?
Yeah. Oh, dude, talk to me, brother.
Yeah.
That's my passion.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I think is cool about it, it's a lot of things, but when we're talking about like control of like the supply chain and stuff, like this is the anti like supply chain problems.
100%.
For a lot of reasons. One, diversity, because we've already seen where like you have some mad fucking cow diseases or something in the crops, and this is massive monocrop agriculture where they get one little disease, and you're like, well, we don't have potato chips for a while.
Yeah. Who cares about those though? Fuck.
And I think in terms of like,
we need less potato chips in this country.
Yeah, well,
dude.
I 100% agree.
Let's get a shortage on those ASAP.
But yeah, I mean, there's like so many benefits to it, but there's been a lot of pushback. I think just about the idea is like, oh well, it's not scalable, and it's like, okay, well let's get past that for a second. You don't need it is. First of all, it is.
Yeah, for sure.
But
dude, imagine like you're from California, like you've driven around the northern part, dude. Yeah. It's nothing but land, Like there's not a lot of development in most of California. Yeah. As populated as it is, most of those retards are down in LA and the Bay, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
exception Sam Krugel and Kelsey.
I think it was Alan Savory, who's like Savory Foundation and all that. They were kind of some of the pioneers of this stuff.
What is that?
Alan Savory.
What is Savory?
Something called Savory. This is his last name, but Savory Institute. It's like,
what do they do?
That's a good question. I believe their main thing they do is they go around educating people on regenerative agriculture and helping people with starting their farms and getting their farms certified and all that.
Yeah.
But it was either him or someone else that was basically saying you don't need to convert all agriculture to regenerative for it to have an impact. You maybe need to convert 10 or 20% of the farming we do now to one, have a massive shift on sequestering carbon back into the soil, speaking of that topic, which helps prevent when you get those fields that you just can't do anything with,
right?
Yeah.
Well, the way they're farming, they're nuking the soil, right? They're just they have to. It's basically just like a sterile substrate, and they have to inject all the fertilizers and things that the plants need to grow. Yeah. So they're just like, they basically got like a cardboard box they're farming on, They have to just add all that shit, and it, that's like a national security thing too, right? Because most of that like nitrogen is produced in like I believe up in like Ukraine area.
Oh jeez.
Right. Like that's a huge thing.
Not great, but the thing is, nitrates, carbon, all that stuff, that comes from animal pee and poop.
Exactly.
So when you have a way of doing this rotational grazing with at first pass would be like cows, and you bring goats over a certain plot of land, and chickens, and they're all pooping and peeing, so that's your fertilizer.
Eat the bugs, Dude, the power of chicken shit. So in college, we had a chicken coop in our backyard, and when I was leaving college, I shut down the chicken operation. Chickens were gone for a while, and we had been feeding them like all our scraps, right, like tomatoes and whatever. And by that spring, dude, tomatoes, fucking twice as tall. The stalks were twice as tall as you. Just like, it was just a insane power. I've never seen anything grow like that.
Make a lot of salsa.
We were leaving town by then, but it was one of those things. Like we weren't even paying attention. When we were doing the last walkthrough, we like looked in the chicken coop and it was like, what the hell? Like this fucking there was like peppers and all kinds of shit growing in there. It was wild. But yeah, back to regenerative agriculture, dude. You don't need to buy all of that stuff. You don't need to inject, and some of those things are not good for not just the soil, but like they get into the food, obviously. A lot of the stuff they're using, and it just makes no sense. And it's harder, but like I've already talked about this on the pod before. Like I'm a firm believer, like people need to spend more money on their health in general, and part of that is their food, right? So like it's the what was it, like in the 1950s, it was like the household income, like it was like 50% of it was spent on groceries or whatever, or whatever the number is, and then it was like 10% on healthcare. Now those numbers are completely inverted. It's like the household income budget for food is super low, and their healthcare bills are through the fucking roof. So it's like we gotta address that situation too. Like we gotta pay what it costs to eat good food and just eat less, right? Like we don't need as much food as we have. It's fucking insane how many fat people are waddling around out there.
When it's totally devoid of nutrients, like you could say, "Oh, I'm eating a lot of food and it's cheaper," but there's
nothing in them.
It's all, it's just a shell. Converts to fat and clogs the arteries and makes you die a lot fucking sooner. So
well, even the produce, dude. Like you buy something at Fry's here, or compared to like Whole Foods, dude, it is night and day. Like the flavors, just the colors. It's crazy. You're getting better nutrients from fruit and vegetables that have that energy.
They have to pick them unripe, for the
to the grocery store. Super bulk shit. Yeah, there's probably some specialty produce people, I bet, that help out. Higher end places like AJ's or Whole Foods. Yeah. But yeah, so that's just kind of your thing. Like you're super into that, or how, or you want to get involved, or what do you?
Oh, that's a good question. Where you at with that? Well, you just you made me think of it earlier when we were talking about the dinosaurs and stuff, and that whole problem. But it's kind of interesting. Like my whole family now has gotten on this like kind of carnivore-ish / paleo, whatever.
It's like. Most people that I know are kind of following a version of that where it's like mostly meat,
So that kind of led us eventually to learn, getting all kind of obsessed with this regenerative ag. But the cool thing about where that started was like my dad, he's had basically high blood pressure for I don't know how many years, but quite a while, and was on some kind of medication for it. And eventually he just got tired of the medication, side effects and different things, and didn't want to worry about taking a pill every day. And, he kept, he kept hearing about like different diets. He tried like paleo, then he tried keto, and those kind of helped. And then he like came across the Michaela Peterson podcast and heard about, I think she calls it the lion diet, but it's basically just like meat, salt, bone broth, and that's it. Elimination. And he's like, okay, maybe I'll try this. So we tried that, and it like basically just solved the whole issue. And he was able to get off his blood pressure medication within like a matter of weeks or months. Yeah, which is like insane.
I would only ever choose that diet if I had to. If I had like some condition like your dad, I get it, but like, dude, have you ever had a nice ripe blueberry? That's what I'm saying. Like I'd miss that way too much.
Yeah, and that's where. So around the time we started following like Paul Saladino and some of these other influencers, and he talks a lot about like the regenerative ag stuff. But and now he's kind of moved on to more of like it's basically like animal products and like the fruit and honey and all these things. Unless to your point, like you really need a strict elimination, but definitely fruit and some other plants are good. What's going on? You got some lighting issues?
Yeah, I think I'm getting that light wet again with my sweat.
Fix that.
No sweat, Brett.
My eyes are getting salty.
Yeah, that's all that salt leaving your body. Goodbye.
Speaking of salt, Drink Element. We're spending
shut up. Give me paid. Let's see. So, do you keep in touch with Uriah on what he's doing?
Not as much. I saw something pop up the other day where he was doing some.
He did a jiu-jitsu thing, right?
No-gi thing.
Yeah, he got submitted.
Did he? I thought the time ran out.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, he almost did. Yeah. But that was
he was in trouble.
I saw the last like 12 seconds.
Yeah. Is he a black belt? Or did he ever even go through the process?
I have no idea. I mean, I know he's always had his gym, and he's always done UFC and his own.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, probably not then. He hasn't had time to like train under somebody for whatever, 7 years.
Maybe he has an honorary black belt.
Speaking of jiu-jitsu, why'd you bitch out on me the other day, dude?
Oh, shit.
You were supposed to come to that 6 a.m. class.
I was supposed to.
Or 5:30. It was Vinny that day.
Oh, dude, that would have.
Shout out Vinny the Voice Lopez.
I think I had too much going on with work. Slept in.
That sounds like a real bitch answer.
Yeah. Well, that is a bitch answer.
Too much going on.
Too much going on.
At 5:30, you're occupied.
I was sleeping.
Yes, you were. And I was learning how to kill people. Joseph.
Yeah, you're stepping up here.
Bringing the energy. To me. Well, let's transition to that. You are a specimen, my guy, dude. Buff as hell. Look at this beefcake. Beefy in all the right places. Eating 3 squares. Pitching hay. So, what are you doing to get jacked and swole? Fill us in.
Great question. Great genetics. Shout out to my dad.
Yeah, you've always been kind of good, well-proportioned.
Thank you. Speaking of my dad, birthday's tomorrow, so happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday,
Thanks
What's
for
his
the
name?
genetics. Kevin.
Kevin? Okay.
Yeah.
Did I ever meet him?
I think you probably definitely have. But in any case, man, I mean, I started young in terms of like sports and just like developing fitness and stuff. So I wrestled for like a season when I was 7. Was terrible at it, but enjoyed it a lot. And then my grandparents, because we were always like climbing trees, jumping off shit, climbing up walls, and my grandparents decided to get us into gymnastics. So I did gymnastics for 4 years.
That's pretty gay.
And we wore the leotard.
Teasing.
Which is almost as gay as a wrestling singlet.
Right. That's gayer.
And so that I feel like that really was what gave me the foundation for physique, right? And just body awareness. Dude, that set me up for wrestling.
I do wish I would have done that from an early age. Like even my brother-in-law, like he's like he didn't do it for like super long, but he's like he can do crazy shit with his body. You know, that would have been so amazingly helpful in wrestling.
It was awesome. I cannot do the splits anymore. But it was a great foundation for wrestling.
That's a good thing.
And
that's not a very attractive quality.
Unless you're, I don't know, maybe it helps in jiu-jitsu, I guess.
I don't know, man. I got suspicions about any man that can do a full split.
Good. Somewhere along the way, I want to say like middle school, I just became like obsessed with Bruce Lee. And started reading, like, it was like him and Arnold. I was like reading like the Art of Expressing the Human Body, kind of just going through all the Bruce Lee workouts, and then reading, magazines like Arnold and stuff on it, and learning about that. And so we got the whole.
You look like a guy that would be in the Bruce Lee ad for like the workouts.
I hope so, man. Well, that's my aspiration. Got the little home gym in the garage, so it's great. I actually never had a gym membership till after college because it was always like these garage workouts, or in college we had a gym with the wrestling team and all that. So yeah, I mean, I think all that, all the wrestling workouts, all the weightlifting I did, especially in college, to get up to 165. I've been able to just kind of maintain my physique. Since then, I know people a lot of times will just blow up after college or get skinny, but I try to stay active. I play a good amount of pickleball. I hike.
Wrestlers I feel like they're notorious for getting super grossly fat. Yeah. It's like, it's so sad to see.
Yeah, especially, it's like if you did the weight cut wrong, or like you kind of, there's some people that come from families where.
So there's for sure, like, I don't know what it's a genetic type thing. Like my boy Akeef Aaron, shout out, pretty wrestler. Yeah. So he was our 125 pounder. Yeah. And his body, dude, whatever that was. So obviously we had to basically make weight at least once a week, usually more. So Akeef would immediately look like a fucking chipmunk. Just short, fat, close to the ground kind of a guy, and just dude, his body just yo-yoed like that. I couldn't do that if I ate fucking. It's the body type. Like, some people are unfortunate in that regard. Like, they legit have like an ability for their body to swell.
Yeah. You know, I feel bad for them because I wouldn't have been able to do that. Like, you know, just the next day.
The worst was what is his name? Dan. Was it Flora? No, Dan They were up by Barrett.
Oh,
you know those two brothers?
Dans.
The Dans, yeah, Justin and Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan, he must have like a thyroid thing or something. Did you see how fat he got?
I hope he's
skinny now.
It was a few years ago,
dude, because he was amazing, dude. He was like one of those phenom wrestlers.
Yeah.
Both of them super good. And he just, like, in the middle of high school, just like lost something, and he just looked like a fucking whale. It was frightening to see that happen to like a stud, you know?
Yeah.
I hate seeing that.
I know. When
it scares me.
Justin's the younger one.
Yeah.
Right. I remember he was like in high school he's like a god. I think he was like was he national champ?
I don't know. At Fargo, I don't know.
No, at senior national.
Oh yeah, probably. Like
him and Lewis.
Dude, phenomenal. But what an obnoxious human being.
Well, my redshirt freshman year, I feel like the moment I realized I'd like leveled up after just a few months of college wrestling was I wrestled Justin at the Fullerton Open.
Oh, okay.
And beat him. I didn't tech him, but it was like 8 to however many escapes he got.
Right.
I was like surprised myself.
Yeah,
I was
spanked
like,
him.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that was
fucking
crazy.
Amazing moments, dude. The leveling up is what makes it worth it, you know?
Yeah.
And those are huge, dude. It's like, you know, there's little milestones that we all get, but like fucking sticking it to somebody that used to kick your ass. Oh my god, dude. I have some favorites. Jordan was one of mine because he terrorized me as a kid, and he was a year younger than me.
Oh, man.
And I fucking hated losing to younger people. And then I whooped his ass, I think, for the state. What's it fucking called? The tournament before state Masters.
Yeah.
I beat him at that tournament twice, 2 years in a row. So that was fun. And then Colby Covington, I fucking hate that guy.
Oh, you wrestled him?
So in Oregon, I always ran into him like in like regional or national tournaments, and he, as a youngin', he would fucking whoop my ass. So it was nice to get a couple on him in college.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember any
my favorite revenge.
Really famous people now that I wrestled against. Like wrestled Jason Welch a couple times.
Yeah.
Wrestled one of the. Oh man, now I'm afraid this family. So we'll go off that one for a second. But dude, I was on teams with some fucking studs. Though.
Yeah.
So like, Derek Moore was a senior before I went to Davis. Uriah Faber went to Davis. My roommate in college, shout out Rafian Stotts, he's kind of blowing up in Bellator now. I don't know what his current ranking is and stuff, but he's in like the top contention there. Yeah. And Marty Usman was also a UNK guy. It's kind of crazy to see people always like, oh, hey, do you follow UFC? And like, I kind of do, but like,
I don't at all.
I don't follow it as like a sport. I'll hear someone's fighting. I'm like, oh yeah, like I know that from college, and just want to see the teammate. You know, it's kind of weird to have a different perspective on this like televised, you know, sport that people are
that's
like
my buddy
doing fantasy stuff on. I'm just like, I don't know, I just want to see my guy win.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah,
hell yeah. All right, you want to take a cold plunge?
Yeah, let's do it.
We gotta get some more wood in this fire too. Oh, boom. That's it. You mind throwing a little water on them rocks? Échale agua en las piedras. Are you gonna come to Jiu-Jitsu tomorrow? You have to. You must.
What do you think about this?
I will
go on Fridays?
So fucking pissed if you don't come tomorrow.
Do you go on Fridays?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think Friday might be more doable.
Why?
Oh, sorry. What's going on?
Keep it short. Long story short.
Going away party. I just want to be up for that long because I have an internal presentation at work on Thursday morning.
Mm-hmm. Just cancel it.
That if I'm up, if I'm up that early and then I'm up that late with the party, like I'll be fucked. So
you just cancel all your meetings.
Yeah, tell my director and VP.
That's
to
what
fuck
I
off.
do. Just cancel everything.
You're the boss. It pays to be the boss.
Yeah.
I think I could pull off Friday.
Okay.
Last day in town.
I swear to, I'll find you.
Hold me to it, but call me though.
No.
All right.
Fuck you. You're a grown man.
All right.
Get your ass in there.
I'll be there Friday.
Call me. Wake me up.
Give me a wake up time. I'll be there. That's a cool drawing.
Thank you. Yeah. My son Everett posted a photo or a drawing that my wife did on the inside,
nice.
So we can see it. I like it actually. It's quite beautiful.
It adds to the vibe in here.
I agree. Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. He also, so when Joey was showing up today, my son Everett, he was mad at me. He said I was being real mean to him, and so he goes, "Can you give me the markers? They're up high." Yeah, I go, "Yeah, here you go." He's like, "I'm gonna go draw outside." And I walk outside, and he drew a stick figure with a sad face on the side of the sauna.
Is that crayon or is that marker?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, it's part of the building now.
I'm keeping it, dude.
Yeah, you should make that your logo.
It's hilarious. Crying. Someone crying. Yeah. Have you seen our logo? I love it.
This one? No, it's with the
it's the desert one, the cactus, the mushrooms. Yep.
Yeah, I saw it on the IG page.
Yeah, that was what do you call that? Artificial intelligence that made it.
Dude. Yeah. Oh, that's where we're going, dude. AI.
Scared?
Oh, love it.
What?
Love it.
You love the music?
AI
music or just AI?
Oh no, just in general. What did you say?
I thought you said AI music.
Oh no,
you're too high, my guy. or am I?
I think you are.
Okay.
That'd be interesting to make AI music. But dude, are you using AI other than for your logo right now?
No, I'm too stupid to do all that stuff.
Okay.
I also do. It's such a problem, dude. I have a shallow interest in everything.
Jack of all trades.
Well, I just I can't. I just can't nerd out on things.
Okay.
It sucks. I wish I could, but I just don't care.
Yeah. Dude, I've been using AI for everything lately. It's crazy.
Give us some examples.
Examples are coming. So I use it for work all the time, first of all. Mm-hmm. But I got the paid version of ChatGPT. I'm doing crazy stuff now where it's you can make your own little they're called GPTs, little programs basically, where you can kind of give it instructions you are this person, this is your role. You can give it all this reference information.
You like building employees.
You can give it information sheets and stuff about what you do or whatever it might be.
God damn it!
And
Joey.
so you can have it literally generate and you can give it examples of structure of how to write an email, tone of voice, all these things to where you can do role play simulations of hey, give me a really tough customer with a lot of objections. So you can use it for that. I actually have been using it really heavily for just self-development stuff, which is interesting. So I'd gone on some retreat in Austin a little while back with this kind of this sales group, and did a lot of work on kind of values and vision and this kind of stuff. But I was okay, well,
I love how evangelists the whole sales culture is it's this almost like a church experience.
Yeah,
right?
Well, it's not across the board, but there's some communities that I'm part of where they're trying to, because the stereotype is corporate fuck who's miserable but is locked in this job because it makes him money, and but there's other people who are hey, I actually I like this job, but I also want to bring my whole person to what I'm doing, which is integrate my my values in what I'm doing day to day, even if I'm a W-2 employee, and actually be someone who's contributing to the world and serving people around them.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And so really cool community.
What if you sell poison for Monsanto? How do you rectify your values into that?
Quit.
Yeah. Well, so that's where all the psychos are, though.
Yeah.
The sociopaths. You know.
Yeah, that's where you find them.
So you have to plug yourself into a job that does something meaningful to you. Basically, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, I'd say so. At minimum, one that you don't totally disagree with. Mm-hmm. But I think it helps to be able to kind of nerd out on something, or to find it valuable to society, or when you can actually see you're making some impact in with your customers. both as corporation, but also it's helping people, right?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I with what I do, my thoughts have been kind of it's just like a cog, and it's kind of a useless thing when you think about benefiting society, right? But you just made me think of a way of a different perspective on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it's because what we do actually is there's I don't like this system, right, where the government controls things. For example, you can walk into CVS or Circle K and buy enough vodka to kill yourself, right? Yeah. So if you can access it, then why are they telling us how to distribute it and where it can be stored and all this stupid stuff? We're gonna get it anyways.
Yeah.
So they don't need to be involved in as much as they are.
Yeah.
And so one thing my company does is kind of help smaller producers and get into a position in the market that they couldn't with traditional distributors. So,
yeah. And that's super meaningful.
Onto something like that would help.
Supporting, yeah, definitely. I think you can find some nuggets there that define your brand, which already probably exists as undertones of what you're doing. It represents probably something you value, which is that independence from this big fucking conglomerate corporations, and so you're aligning with other people that have those same values and beliefs, and keeping up. What is it? It's small business capitalism. People who are supporting their families and employing people in their direct communities. Mm-hmm. So yeah, business has a ton of value.
My dream situation would be a regenerative farmer. My little brother's starting on that project actually. Already kind of converting, he monocrops, he grows just grapes.
Yeah.
And he's done chickens in the past for eggs, but he's gonna kind of get that going again. That's the value add on that is, I think, amazing. People like Arcadia Meat Market, mm-hmm. Down in Indian School. Dude, those should be stamped, copied, and pasted on every corner. People should be buying from little bodegas, their fruit, and their just as cut out all these middle people and just get the good food there quicker. That would be amazing. That's never gonna happen in our lifetime.
No, I mean. We technically came from a society like that, however many hundreds of years ago.
Sure. I mean, look at most of Europe. It's that.
Yeah.
If you go to Spain, it's the bodegas, the chinos they call them, because they're all operated by Chinese people. But you get all your fruits from them, and then there's the meat shops, basically. And that's Farmers pretty much it. There's not there's no fucking CVS's selling Doritos and lollipops and shit. It's just real food everywhere. So
yeah, that'd be great. Big farmers market guy. It's been my. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Find a new one in the new spot.
It's gonna be way easier for you in California.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know they have one in Newport.
Yeah.
But that's been my routine lately.
Just the good quality of the food's gonna be, or the produce is gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Every time I go home, I'm fuck, dude. The shit we get in Arizona compared to the stuff you can get up in Northern California. My God.
That's great. That's one of those things. California is such an interesting state because the perception of it is pretty much entirely based on San Francisco and LA.
Right.
But the rest of the state is so different. Like where you came from, the whole valley is just all agriculture. I don't know the stats, but like they're basically the largest producer of agriculture in the country by far. So yeah, I mean, there's all these other like elements of California besides just like all the libs in San Francisco and the Hollywood.
Oh yeah, no, most of the state is like red, really.
Yeah, really
I mean, like the people that actually. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say the people that actually do shit, but like all the farmers and like all those people, like they're at a minimum. What they are is like up in my county, they're cool. They're the hippies that the cool hippie, like they. Yeah. Like the survivalist type, right?
Right, yeah. People
not the, yoga pant, fupa lady in San Francisco. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's the vegan
so
lady.
They're like skirting this thing where like socially they're super liberal, but then, kind of like conservatively they're like they live their lives, right? Like they don't more like government interference, like a lot of that kind of stuff.
Small government, all that kind of stuff.
They're those kinds. So like they tend to vote blue though, but like I think they're getting tired of this shit too. So like it's helping. Yeah. It's
crazy how much has shifted. Yeah. It's sort of a new. From 20 years ago or something, like the parties are like different.
Yeah, they should weight that though, dude. Like you've looked at a map of California, like how they vote. It's like most of the counties are red, and it's like a couple blue, or fewer blue, I should say.
I mean, we do it.
It's like they should weight that differently.
It'd be interesting. I thought that like it'd be cool if everyone just did it like Maine or like Nebraska, where they do it. Have you heard of this? Where like most states, they like the whole electorate just goes like whatever way.
Yeah,
it's like
whatever they say. So they like county by county decide what they want to do.
They call it districts.
Okay.
So it's like collection of counties or something.
They're like, we want to live like this. Yeah, you guys can fuck off and live like that.
And I'm like, oh man, that'd be crazy if like California, New York, like split it up that way.
That's a better idea actually. Yeah. Like, cause like, look, dude, like all the gun laws, right? Like that would actually logistically be super easy to pull off because it's basically like the Bay Area and LA don't agree with them, but like all the counties around them, like they want like what Arizona has, level, but
Arizona's great. I was trying to see if I wanted to go back to AI or not, but Arizona.
Can you come hang out with me for a day in the office, and you got time before you leave or no?
Maybe.
I know you said you were stressing, but I need to I would like you to just kind of like see what needs to be done, and then like be like, dude, you should plug these things in. You know what I mean?
Look at your computer systems, your software.
Just like how I operate everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can do that. Yeah, I mean, I've spent a good amount of time thinking about that kind of stuff.
Check out the op, dude. Yeah, help me get more efficient.
In the software game for a minute. Do you guys use QuickBooks?
Yes.
I know a thing or two about that.
Cool.
Yeah, I can definitely help. I mean, there's AI, then there's also just like software, just like use normal software appropriately. But one kind of cool thing I did was I was doing this exercise where I was trying to identify like what are Joey's core values. It sounds kind of woo, but like it's important to kind of understand and direct yourself. And I was like, let me just give it all the like AI has too much information about me, but I'm like it already knows everything anyways.
Right.
So fuck it. So I basically had all these like hundreds of like papers I'd written in college and like things I've written to me on LinkedIn, all my journals, all this stuff, and just like fed it into the chat. Yeah. And basically said like figure me out. And it can take all that and be like, hey, based on this, like what do you think are my, and it's like, you can look at it and be like, it's probably a little skewed because there's certain information I didn't give you. But it's like a good analogy.
So what did it give you back again? Like what the feedback was? Like so what you plugged in like who you are as a human and what were you expecting it to do with that?
Well, you can give it different jobs.
So you basically you built yourself and you're like
Yeah. So here's everything I've written. Like based on this, like what do you think I value most? This person give me top 20.
I can't wait till that embodies a physical unit, a robot. That's gonna be so dope, dude. You just clone yourself.
They have like girlfriends and stuff now.
Well,
that's a little scary.
I mean, a very base. I'm talking about like you've got a clone.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like you plug in, you download yourself to this thing, geez. And then it's your employee, basically. You know? Like that would be so rad.
That'd be a trip. It'd be rad.
Nobody'd be working anymore.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm like, I partly have my head in the sand a little bit intentionally about like how much jobs this shit's gonna replace, but I'm currently of the camp that like if I am an early adopter and I learn how to leverage this tool to make myself better at what I do, then I'm less replaceable.
Yeah.
Right? Because once everyone else starts learning, it's like, oh, I just did your job 10 times faster. It's like, well, okay, I want to get a leg
keep up with that.
Yeah. A lot of stuff's getting automated though.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so Arizona's a dope place. Been here for 4 years. I feel like the biggest takeaway, if I were to say, look back, like, hey, what did I learn about Arizona? More than anything, I learned how to develop community.
Because that was your first like fresh start, like didn't know anybody type of a.
Not move. Exactly. I mean, I've had a few of those. There was the move to Nebraska.
Oh, right.
In college, and then there was the move to Orange County the first time. So I've had some back and forths there, but I think like from whenever high school, college is like your community was your wrestling team basically. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty cool. I was like a little brothers, dude. It was social butterfly at tournaments going around, like trying to make friends and going to different practices and tournaments, and that kind of goes away. And eventually, like there's some people that just kind of become like loners almost.
Right.
But this is a cool place because there's so many like transplants and other people who are in a similar stage that are like, I need friends too. So there's all these entrepreneur groups, and there's Optimize, you had the guy on the last pod.
Yeah.
And Run Club, those are blown up. That's pretty crazy. And different things. It's a unique. It's definitely a hidden gem. It's like before I moved, I was like, oh fuck, like the desert. Like I want to be out of there in a week. Bunch of sand, no ocean.
I've always been fascinated by the desert, though. It's my favorite ecosystem.
Really? What is that?
I don't know. There's like a mystery to it.
Okay.
It's like you stare off into like and I love like kind of like the cartoons and like they really like Fievel Goes West, like.
Dude, I was just gonna say Fievel, dude. I was
tumbleweed rolling.
Oh yeah.
A dead cow skull, some saguaro cactuses,
a dancing dead cow skull.
Like I don't know, I love that. And then like cowboy Indian stuff, obviously. That kind of grew up loving those.
Big. I think so like growing, and I think still to this day is probably what my grandpa watches is old westerns.
Of course.
So like, anytime we went over there, they had the color channels, but like they would keep it on the black and white channels with like the old Mickey Mouse and the old westerns.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? The Three Stooges, stuff like that. Pretty epic.
Hell yeah.
It was a classic film, so.
For sure.
Yeah, you get out to like Apache Junction or something.
Yep.
That's where you got the old. It's kind of like a little Disneyland now.
Like
the ghost town.
The ghost town thing. Yeah, that's rad. You gonna give us some more water? Oh,
yeah, pop it in there.
You animal. All right, so I'll see you at Jiu-Jitsu tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday is what you're telling me.
It just got fucking hot. Holy shit. We'll see you Friday.
My guy.
See you Friday.
All right. I'll see you Friday. All right, Joseph. I'm ready to put a ribbon on this one. You got any last words?
No, man. Just be good. Be good.
I like that. Yeah, be good. All right, everybody. Smell you later.